So a Seder, it's an unusual religious experience. It's not happening in the pews of a house of worship. It's very much a home observance.
We have lots of symbolic objects and foods that we eat.
We all read a book called the Haggadah, a set of stories and rituals, songs and activities that we all do together.
So we're going to be doing a virtual Seder this year. My parents will be on the call. My sister will be on the call.
I believe I'll be joining a virtual Seder put on by my synagogue.
Typically, you wash your hands twice during the Seder, but for this particular Seder, they might be washing their hands more.
I'm excited to see how it goes.
The amazing thing about Judaism is our ability over thousands of years to adapt to changing circumstances. And so, yeah, it's true. We won't have large extended families gathering together in one household. But thanks to the gift of internet technology, there will be virtual gatherings for families that choose to engage in that way. And it's a chance to experiment with bringing the holiday and its lessons alive in this new way.
In years past, there would be people who were passionate enough to host the Passover Seder, and a lot of people would just go. So even though like 70% of the population would be doing something for Passover, it's a much smaller part of the population that would be the host. This year, everybody's a host in some way.
There's a new sense of empowerment for folks to sort of get involved and to share in that responsibility and to help others to do the same. For some, it's the very first time that they've ever had to do it themselves.
Haggadah.com for me began as a graduate school project. This year, people can't necessarily use the Haggadah that they have at home in print form because people aren't coming to your house. You need to give them a digital version by email. And so somebody could go to our site and just download a Haggadah that's ready to go. Because we're in such this completely different time right now, it's giving people permission to experiment in ways that they maybe wouldn't have in previous years.
There are new prayers that are being written as we speak to address the virus in the context of the Passover story, so certainly we'll be reciting some of those. When Jews and their guests gather around a Seder table and retell the story, it's not just to eat the symbolic foods and encounter the story from the past, but rather also meant to inspire everybody to change the way that we live our lives in the present day, and to remember that there are so many people that are still enslaved in our world today, and that we have an obligation to fight for their freedom in the same way that others help fight for ours. Even though we know that on some level the impact is the same on everybody, we also know that those who are most economically disadvantaged are uniquely vulnerable to the plight of the virus and its impact on our lives. Part of the teaching of the Seder story is a reminder that we have to be cognizant of their suffering and to share in the obligation of helping them through this. The core story of Passover from thousands of years ago has always been overlaid with other things that are going on in our modern contemporary world.
This year, more than any other, is about embracing imperfection. Remember what it is and why it is that you're coming together in the first place.
Don't let technology get in the way of connecting.
This Passover is just going to feel different than any other Passover, and it's going to be one that we tell our grandkids about. I think it's important to honor the holiday in whatever way it works for you.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.